Hello and welcome to a show where I try to fix movies that happened, or TV shows like episodes, and I try to fix them. So today, a few ground rules on this. It's kind of like I will acknowledge the old movie. I will consider when I want to keep the basic plot point or anything, and then I'll put my version in. It's pretty straightforward, but it could help us fix some things. And since nobody will fucking do it on a Hollywood scale, I'm doing it. Today I'm going to look at the Fantastic Four from, 2015 or whatever. In the movie, it's just riddled with fucked up shit. They totally destroyed Doom. He's one of my favorite comic book villains, and they just completely said, screw all that, forget it. We don't need a legitimate Doctor Doom to do anything. Like, we're gonna have him in there and shit because you need him, but I think Miles Teller was cool. I liked his all of the actors. Maybe the Doom guy was kind of off. I don't remember a full 1,000% on his performance. I think it was okay. I liked the guy Nip Tuck in the original ones. He was good as Doom. But anyway, original for 2000s. Let's not. But anyway. So yeah, Miles Teller was cool. The guy who played the Thing. He was okay. I probably changed him a little bit, but he was alright overall. Johnny Storm was good. Michael B. Jordan was fine. You could even keep him in my new cast. I can keep him in my cast, and the girl was okay too. So actually, you know what? I will. Now that I think about it, I will keep everybody. They're all fine. I would change how the Thing looks a little bit, make him more of that 70s kind of when he had his one-off series and stuff. But other than that, I would keep everybody. So that being said, it's not really the actors in this movie. It's the plot. It's fucking stupid. It is cool that they had Reed and Ben become friends in school, and teleportation is possible, blah blah blah, fine, and all that. But what I'm gonna do is and the military gives them a base of operations, and great normal line. I know exactly what to call this Fantastic Four. That's fine. It's the best part of the movie, probably, where it freaking ends. But I, however, am going to suggest this. We are going to fix it. This movie, it's going to be a flashback picture, meaning you're going to have one opening scene. And then from that opening scene, we're going to get each person's individual backstory. And then you can have one common backstory to tie it all up. And then we're going to move forward with the picture, which essentially it's a battle the whole time. You kill it off after the battle, and then you move forward. Because that way we can cover everybody's origin, including Victor's. We can get a reason why everything happened, and then we can have this cool battle that you won anyway, and then we can move forward with the whole thing. Great. It's going to be a good opening scene. I think you'll be in the Latvian castle where Victor lives. The fight will start in his laboratory, and then maybe go over to the throne room some, because Johnny and Ben could make fun of stuff. I think that's good, because you need some laughs in today's thing. And then after you go from the throne room, you're going to go out to a helipad, wherever Victor has his stuff land that flies off. And then that way you'll have a big scene where Johnny will go around in the air and use his powers for flight, which is cool. He'll probably inadvertently, well, I know he will, inadvertently knock something over, and Susan's going to have to save it with her powers, with the force bubble. Reed will also kind of have to tie it up, and then Ben will probably have to also catch some stuff, like debris, battle stuff, whatever, so it doesn't hurt the people. That shows Ben has a sense of, just normalcy. He wants to protect people even though he's this big monster and they're scared of him. There's a good shot of that in there. Anyway, you go back. First flashback, I think, is Johnny, because he's going to narrate the whole thing pretty much. Well, take it back. He'll narrate the first part. He'll be like, kind of like Thor did in Ragnarok. You'll give him, like, opening shot of kind of be like some flamey stuff, and you'll show Johnny falling down, and he will be like, I never thought at 250 degrees that I would fall this far, but who knew? Or 250 points or something like it. It's a stupid joke, but when he's doing it, well, let's look back at it, and then you flash back to him and Susan's lives, going through some events, whatever traumatic thing happened, I don't know. They'll throw something in there, I don't know exactly. And then you'll flash back, he'll fall, boom, you'll go to Reed picking him up, and then you'll go back to Reed studying at university. I really don't feel like you need, you could have a flash shot of him at like 6 being really smart, high school, university. You kind of zoom through the younger ages, university, getting a degree, have Victor in the background kind of looking over at him, but you don't know it's Victor. It's just some guy looking over at him at the moment because they both went there. And then we go back, and I've always had to pick up my fellow man, and then because Reed is a super narcissist, and then he picks up Johnny, and then kind of, he doesn't throw him, I want to say, but he kind of just like lifts him up on a platform. Take off, Johnny. Or, no, he hands him to Ben. He's like, Ben, take him. Ben, and then right when Ben goes to catch him, he goes, listen up, screwball, and then he throws him. Kind of like a fastball special with Wolverine, but a little different. And anyway, and then you go to the Thing's backstory, and you go Ben, and you flash back there, and then you come forward, and when you come to Ben, he goes, it's clobbering time, cracks like 5 Doombots in a row, because you're going to have them coming, because that's going to be because you have to have a bunch of things attack you in these movies now, so it's going to be a bunch of Doombots that Victor's programmed, and the Thing's taking on all these Doombots. And then we're going to go to Susan, who ultimately is gonna debilitate Doom, right? And then Susan is we're going to go back, and you see a different angle from what happened in Johnny's memory, but it's a little more sad, a little more bullshit. That's how you're going to bring him in. And then you fly forward, and I have to keep these guys all together. And then at the very end, she's going to say, and we're the Fantastic Four. Her and Reed both. But anyway, then you go to Doom, and he, first time he uses some of his mythical powers and stuff, shoots ray beams from his hands. This is the first time. He was using guns, in the lab and stuff, but this is the first time he's like, now or never. And he goes, and as you have that shot of the laser beam shooting out of his hands, he flips back, and you go, and you see him as a young kid. We're going to spend the most time on Doom's backstory, I think. You see him as a kid, and we're going to keep it. And the gypsy, he's born with gypsies. You're going to see that. They're going to see his mother being dead from the guy, and his father getting knocked off from the king, and you'll see him discover his mother's mystical stuff, and that he found out she was into all this weird shit, and then he's going to take over Latveria. You'll see him doing that. You'll see him go over to America, and you'll watch him and Reed kind of have a back and forth, and Reed won't even know him because Reed's not his intellect, but his fucking opinion on himself is sky high, so he doesn't even pay attention to Victor. So it's kind of like Victor is, jealous of him, which is, factual and whatever. And we notice there's a story that you didn't see with Reed earlier, where Victor goes in and he follows him, and he sees what he's working on is time displacement, and that it's possible, and matter displacement, and that it's possible. He feels if he can, this is his motivation for them coming, if he kidnaps Reed, and he needs his, because he can never figure out the formula, exact how to do it with what machine. If he gets Reed to come over to Latveria to work for him, and we'll keep him as a slave pretty much, he can bring his mom back to fix, his fucking childhood trauma. But he can bring his mom back to fix his situation. Like, he just wants his mom back. That's the whole thing. Like, little kid getting dead. It's great. So, and then you flash forward, and then as he does that, Doom destroys a bunch of his own stuff, his own countryside. Like, he goes on this rampage. He's trying to get just Reed and the guys. And I will have you, Richards. You will build me the machine. And then Johnny comes. I don't think so, buddy. Or Doom, or some random whatever he would say, and he throws a fireball at him. Doom shoots through it, but inadvertently hits his son and Doom's son in the shoulder. Because Doom has a son later on. I'm going to go ahead and have him. Now, scratch that. It's not always going to be perfect, but we are going to go ahead. Doom's going to hurt somebody he didn't mean to, right? He'll be like, oh, I'm supposed to, blah, blah, blah. And then Susan comes in behind him. Puts him, because she's invisible, as Victor's consoling the person. Like, I never meant to, but, and she goes up behind him. Force bubble forces him to caves. And then, Richards, I need your help in fixing this matter. My plasma blast cannot be healed. And then Reed's like, I'll agree to help you, but you gotta go and imprison yourself in your own jail. My own jail? You want me to command Latveria from a cell? Never, Richards. I am Doom. I am incomparable. You cannot compare me to anything. I am Doom. You are a mere man, Richards. Well, this mere man and these 3 other people just beat you into submission. Now yield. Doom never yields, but Doom will accept a resignation in this occurrence, Richards. I need your help with my plasma cannon fingers. Fix them, please, Richards, I implore you. And then Doom does what he says. He will submit for a moment. Just for a moment, and you feel like Victor's changed his ways. And then he calls 200 Doom bots. They surround the 4. I will allow you to leave, Richards and team, but know this: the kindness you show today is returned now. Doom thanks no one. Doom needs no one. Be gone. I will see you again. And if you value your lives, stay away from Latveria. I need not, want not. And then they take a second, and then they go. Right? Like the jet that they came in from wherever, and they go. And then on the jet ride home, you will see Susan and Reed talking, and they're getting closer together. And as they're talking, well, what do we call ourselves? That was pretty fantastic. And then Susan and Reed both say, they stop, they look at each other, and they say, the Fantastic Four, you roll credits. Now, there are some holes in there, obviously, but that's the basic gist. I think it's fixed. Also, I forgot to put in there, in Doom's flashback, you're going to show where he entices Reed to come to Latveria for a grant or something, because he's a king, so he has money. So he entices Reed to come over in the lieu of money. or Grant, and that's when he tries to capture him. He has to call out to each Fantastic Four member somehow to get them to come. And that's it. That's pretty much it. And that's how I would fix it. We went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's pretty much the movie I would have made. There would be some fine details, but those are the outline and the bullet points. That's how I would fix it. Because I'm taking logistical situations. Doom, the reason he wanted Reed to come over and help him with the teleportation and the transfer matter stuff, he heard about it. Maybe I did say that. But he wanted to come get his mom back because if it's possible to get his mom back, well, actually I did mention all this, so, you can cut that, really. You don't have to pay attention to reiteration. But, yeah, man, I think that would be a great start in moving forward for Marvel, because right now, a lot of people aren't happy with where they're going, and I like Hawkeye, the TV show. I thought that was cool. I liked Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, whatever, but Captain America now at this point. I think they have some good stuff, like Shang-Chi is good. I would say Love and Thunder was okay, man. I think they, it's kind of the same. Ragnarok's better, but they both have more comedy in it. But it was way better than Thor to the Dark World. That's another one I'll conquer, because I'm just going to destroy that fucking thing. But yeah. I think Marvel can go in a good direction. I think there's a lot there, and I've said this for a very long time. They have all the stories. There's so many stories from great writers. Chris Claremont is amazing. Jim Lee's run on X-Men's great. These are X-Men writers. But you can go to Stan Lee and take early issues of things and do them. You can do... And, if we really wanted to cross over, we'd do that issue of Fantastic Four where Spider-Man's there. We'd do that. If you really wanted another Fantastic Four story that's great is the Galactus comings. Like, Galactus is coming to Earth, and the Surfer comes in and he warns them, right? And then they kind of did that with Tim's stories, but I don't believe that was a valid representation of that story. I feel like they did the best they could, but they didn't have really super understanding. And I'm saying if you want to bring everybody together, it's a really good little run to throw in there. I think if you throw like multiple heroes, I think you have Doctor Strange come in because he was on there. It's a good way to bring Steve Rogers back. He's going to don it one more time, You can bring X-Men in. It would be a really good thing. It's just you would have to do it correctly. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. Not even full correctly. I would like a miniature version of correctly. I will take that. But if you're telling me, I got so infuriated. Which I shouldn't. They're fictional characters. They own the characters. I can't do anything with them. Besides make a show like this. When I found out that they basically want to make Silver Surfer a woman, it's not that I care so much that it's a woman, because there is the alternate version, right? And it's not 616 universe, I can't remember which one it is. Or we do have a female Silver Surfer, and that's fine. But if you're telling me you could give me Norrin Radd and give me a great backstory on him, like that he sacrifices himself for his people to be saved from Galactus, and you're just going to take it over here to this, I don't really care for that. Now, if you gave me this is what I would say. I would totally be down for the woman Silver Surfer if you had like mirroring stories at the same time, and you gave me two surfers, one from each dimension. And in that dimension, like in each dimension, they have crossovers from each other, and they're getting each other's memories. They've got to fix what happens in each other's timelines. They're the ones who know how to fix the opposite ways. Now, I would take that. That's pretty cool, actually, because it's very comic booky. It's very, like, it would work, because I'm not even saying you can't give the female Silver Surfer, like, even a little more power if you want. I don't care. Like, I think Norrin Radd is exemplary. I can't even say the word right, but he's great, right? Like, Norrin Radd is top of the food chain for me as far as Marvel superheroes go. So that's why it hurts so bad. It's not that I care that it's a woman. I care that's not Norrin Radd. Now, if you try to change it to Norina Radd, I'll be like, fuck you. But, man, there's just something about Silver Surfer, dude. He's so cool. He's so... even if you go back and watch the 90s cartoon, it lasted like a season, and it would just show you, like, where Surfer would go to these worlds, and he would befriend people and help them. And, like, there was even one where he went to Ego. Like, he went on the planet Ego that chased him, and he was on there, and he helped Ego the planet, which you would never think of a 90s cartoon to do that, but they did. And even if you go back to the 60s, because Stan Lee, and he came up with the character, so of course he's going to do it properly, but Stan Lee's take on the character, from what I've read of the books, I haven't read every single issue because I wasn't alive, so I had to go back. I was born in 85. It's a thing. I have to go back and read all this stuff. I can tell you a lot about the 90s and early 80s Uncanny X-Men to X-Men Volume 2 with Jim Lee starting and everything. But a little bit shakier on 60s. I've got a lot of the 60s plot points, but there's some of them that evade me. If you go back to the Stan Lee days of him just going through the galaxy, and he was tethered to the Milky Way, and so he would go through some stuff tethered to Earth at one point, in one iteration of it, because he disobeyed Galactus. It's just, there's a lot they could do with the Surfer. I just don't want it to be thrown away, because we had a shot with the Fantastic Four 2. But, oh man, if you're going to tell me the Surfer doesn't need the board. He doesn't need the board, flat out. It's written. It's written umpteen thousand times. He doesn't need the board. Now, there are some versions where he do, but that's stupid. Like, Galactus created the board so he could surf the frickin' spaceways just to go faster. Personally, I think it's just because he would look cooler. But here nor there, it was just a device to serve Galactus easier, faster. Like the $1 Million Man, we're going to make him better. That's essentially... $1 Million Man is still Silver Surfer. That's funny. Yeah, but that's what we're doing here, folks. I mean, and it's fine that people want to take that route with it. I don't personally care for it. I think we need to go back and just... It was created for the purpose of flying faster. Right or wrong, that's how it was written. So, but anyway, I think I've gone on way long enough. I'd like to thank no sponsors, as I don't have any. Thanks. If you stuck with the whole episode, thank you for that. I do appreciate it. I will do more of these, one way or the other, but I really am excited about this. I think it's going to be cool. It doesn't only have to be comic book movies. It could be anything. No, Commando would never be tackled because it's perfect. There's a lot of movies I love that I won't change, but there are some bullshit ones out there. I will take on the new Home Alone probably next time. Either that or the Justice League. One of the two, I don't know. I'll think about it. And it might totally be something else. But anyway, thank you for tuning in, staying this long. I appreciate it, and we will catch you next time.